How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another FIFA 21 video where today we have got the most meta goalkeepers in the game. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at what I believe to be the 10 most meta goalkeepers in the game. Obviously with FUT Champs coming in a couple of weeks, I think it'd be a good idea. Maybe some of these players will be a bit out of reach for some players, but just maybe going forwards in FIFA for anyone who watches this video in the future, these are what I think are the best 10 goalkeepers. So without further ado, starting with number 10, we have got Wojciech Szczesny. This guy is a decent... You know what? Let me just cut to the chase. Now, cutting to the chase, as you can see, there are the top 10 goalkeepers which I have selected. Now, you can probably gather that they are pretty much just in rating order. And the reason why that is because I don't think it matters who your goalkeeper is. Now, I've put these in order as well. I've put Szczesny and Navas at the back, obviously with their, nations and stuff. Maybe a little bit more difficult to link up. But I have put these guys in pretty much order of rating, except for ter Stegen. The reason why ter Stegen is at the front, he is probably the only goalkeeper, in my opinion, who plays slightly better, slightly apart from the rest. He is probably, I would say, the undisputed best goalie in the game. I played against him a couple of times. One time I played against him the other day. I've got the statistics in front of me here. I had 13 shots, 13 on target, 64% possession, 94% pass accuracy, and I scored 3 goals. My opponent scored 4 shots, 4 on target, and he scored 4 goals. Ter Stegen is probably the only goalkeeper who probably deserves the title of being the best goalkeeper. But in my opinion, everybody else is pretty much the same. When you're talking about getting a goalkeeper, again, I know this from experience. I did this video last year. I would say, you know what, in my opinion, I think Oblak is the best keeper. You then have somebody in the comments would say, I tried Oblak, he was terrible, I like Neuer. Then somebody would respond to that saying, I had Neuer, I didn't like him, I like Courtois. Like, the thing is with goalkeepers, you have a very mixed experience with them. And the biggest reason why the goalkeepers are such a mixed position is because I think 2 things. Number 1, you don't control the goalkeeper. It's not like you dive and make the saves or anything. So it's something that is completely out of your control, which is why you have such an inconsistent experience with goalkeepers. Just would like to say a quick thank you. If you have made it this far into the video, it would be much appreciated if you could hit that subscribe button right there so you don't miss out on any future content. Also, make sure you do follow us on Twitter and we'll get around to answering your questions as quick as possible. And number 2, which is what I think the biggest reason is, certainly this year in FIFA, the reason why I think there are so many goals, like for me personally, I don't think so far I have won a game of FIFA where I've scored less than 3 goals. My average score, I think, is like 5-2, and that's in a mixture of draft, rivals, live foot friendlies. Like, that's a mixture of game modes. Like, it's so easy to score this year. And I don't think it's necessarily a slur on goalkeepers, although when you actually look at some of the goalkeepers in the animations, sometimes they don't even stick their hand up to try and save the ball. But I think the biggest thing is because shooting is so overpowered this year, and I feel like that's mainly to combat like drop back and defensive, so that it seems like they've massively increased shot power in certain scenarios. Like, your player just seems to rifle the ball, and the goalkeeper just is not able to get his hand up. So it gives the impression that goalkeepers are really bad. Now, I don't think goalkeepers are very good anyway. As I mentioned before, sometimes the goalies will just stick their hands up and they don't even get anywhere near it. They don't ever really seem to move their feet and really try and get to the corners. So if you wanted my advice when it comes to goalkeepers, what I would personally suggest is improve the other 10 positions of your team. So your left back, your centre back, your right back, midfielders, strikers, wingers, whoever it may be. Improve the rest of your team first and just stick somebody who is relatively cheap. If, for example, you're building, let's say, a Premier League team, one thing I would suggest is just go and get someone like Schmeichel for now. Improve the rest of your team. So if you want to get, like, I don't know, Joe Gomez or Lucas or Son or Trent Alexander-Arnold or whoever it may be, go and improve the rest of your team first and just have a cheap goalkeeper, because whether that's Schmeichel, whether that's Edison, whether that's Alisson, you're probably still going to concede. If you play a game and you concede 4 goals because of Schmeichel in goal, if you don't just be like, oh, if I'd have had Alisson, he would have saved that, because the chances are he probably wouldn't. So The goalkeeper is the last position that you should upgrade, in my opinion. The other 10 positions, they definitely have merit, and there is definitely an order in which players do fall. But goalkeepers, because shooting's so overpowered and because you don't control them, I just don't believe goalkeepers, they're not worth your coins. You are not worth spending 50,000 coins, for example, on Edison over, let's say, 5k for Schmeichel. Now, like I said, the only time I would recommend improving your goalie is when the rest of your team's improved. And when you're improving your goalie, I would recommend just getting someone that you like. If you're a Man City fan, go and get Edison. If you're a Liverpool fan, go and get Alisson. You're a Bayern Munich fan, go and get Neuer. Go and get somebody who you like, someone who fits your team. Because ter Stegen is probably the best goalkeeper, I would say. He is slightly above the rest, but it is not worth going and building a full La Liga team just to get ter Stegen. So get whichever goalkeeper you like, get someone who fits your team, fits your league, because the goalkeeper position, not just this year, really any year, they all pretty much play the same. Like I said, there will be some instances where, you know, you'll have a guy who will have Oblak in goal, and I'll be like, oh, you know what, I had Oblak, he was really, really good. You know, I've played with Oblak twice in the draft, and to be fair, he has been pretty good. But there'll probably be somebody in the comments would say, oh, I tried Oblak, he was terrible, I really like Neuer. Somebody would then, that guy would be playing with Neuer, he played 2 or 3 games, he'd go, yeah, he was really good for me, this, that, and the other. Somebody else would go and try him and go, I tried Neuer, he was trash. I really like Courtois, he was really good. Now, because Courtois is really, really tall, maybe that guy thought, yeah, the height in the goalkeeper position, you know, he's going to be able to get to the corners and whatnot. Somebody would then try Courtois, you know, he gets that strong link with Militao, Mendy, maybe Courtois, the way that some people go. Someone would try that and go, oh, I had him, he was terrible. I really liked Alisson. And you just end up playing like that game of just hot potato in goal. And I just think ultimately it's just something that is, you're going to end up, you know, it's probably the position that you will change the most and you will just see no benefit whatsoever. So to sum up, what I would suggest is get a goalkeeper that is cheap for now, improve the rest of your team. Once the rest of your team's improved, come back and buy a goalkeeper that fits your team that you like, depending on who you want. Because right now, because shooting is so overpowered, I think the goalkeeper that you have is pretty much irrelevant. They all seem to just leak goals and they don't really seem to save anything. So I would just honestly recommend get whoever you want. They will all play exactly the same. There is no real he's better than him when it comes to the goalkeeper position. It's different for all the other positions. We will do videos on the fullbacks, the centre-backs, midfielders, you know, attacking mids, DMs, wingers, strikers. We'll do vids on all of those. But in terms of the goalkeepers, I don't want to BS you. The goalkeepers will play pretty much the same regardless of who you have. So just get whoever you want. But that is it for the video, guys. So if you did enjoy and you did find this useful, you did enjoy me kind of spitting the truth there, then make sure you do subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Make sure you follow us on Twitter as well. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section as well. But that is all for today, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm out.